Hello everyone. What you see here is a 3D scan of a model. Her name is Evian Leigh, who posed for this 3D reconstruction that I made with my new 3D scanner rig. This is a rig that I designed that allows you to take multiple photos from various angles to capture a 3D image. These 3D images, can be used in various applications, including VR games, medical, archaeology. They can also be used to 3D print sculptures, which is what I'm attempting here. I'm attempting to do a 3D sculpture of Evian Leigh, which then I'll send to a 3D printer by creating PLY files that I can use to print on my 3D printer. You can also 3D print or 3D sculpt using a 3D sculpting machine, and you'd be able to like sculpt marble or metal and create a bronze statue or a marble statue the way Michelangelo did, using all automated computer generated 3D sculpturing. Other applications include selling jewelry and modeling clothes for boutiques and clothing stores online, very similar to what Amazon does with their products, except this is a much more detailed scan that allows you to look at the model from practically any angle, not unlike a mannequin, except it's a virtual mannequin. In VR games, you could import 3D objects into gaming machines such as Unreal Engine 5, and then be able to create video games with actual actors with their faces and everything as detailed as possible. And using Unreal Engine 5, you can actually animate them. Very similar to Blender. Blender is another application that's actually free, as well as Unreal Engine 5 is free if you're not going to do commercial development. And Blender has the advantage of being able to do 3D sculpting. So any damage, any parts that have holes that just didn't get scanned or had shadows, you could repair. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit on Evian and show you what the 3D scan looked like. This is the side of her, but you can rotate all around. The blue dots that you see are the camera angles that I took all the pictures. My 3D scanner robot took all these pictures by rotating around her, and these are very carefully spaced to get the maximum detail, 3D detail. Now, one thing about scanning objects is that they don't move. And so I've been able to do very good 3D scans of, let's say, a DeWalt drill or a R2-D2 robot that's perfectly still, and got an incredible resolution and detail. And I can even read all the labels and characters, and I can reproduce those on the 3D printer almost identically. So it allows you to, let's say you have an old antique vase that you want to reproduce. You'd be able to scan it and then 3D print it and sell it. So it allows you to do reverse engineering of objects. And my scanner does that very well. I have posted some videos showing the DeWalt drill on YouTube and other sites, Patreon, in fact. But scanning a person is more difficult, even with professional 3D scanners that use LiDAR. And of course, LiDAR uses laser, so I'm not too crazy about using LiDAR. This method uses photogrammetry, which is just taking pictures of the model and then reconstructing them. You take the pictures from all the angles. Now you can do that manually too, but it takes a long time. What you see there is around 350 photos. and each photo has to be very well taken. It has to be well exposed, well lit. Now, one of the problems that I have here is that I needed more uniform lighting. So you can, when I zoom in close, you can see some modeling on her face. But it got the structure pretty good. From a distance, it looks beautiful. And it got the sequences on the dress for some part. But it didn't get the arms. It started to get the fingers and arms, but it didn't get the shoulder, or the arms, because I didn't scan all the way around her. This was just done for the front. So to get the rest of the detail, I would have to fill in those gaps. I would have had to use the pictures that I took from the back. But the reason why I didn't do that is it takes a long time to process on the computer, and so I just wanted to get the demo going and show, and get the front part perfect before I start working on the back. Oops. So the back is a mess. And there are 3D viewers that you can use. You can use the PDF viewer. You can use Zephyr 3D, which is what reconstructed this object. I used Zephyr 3D to take all of the Evian's pictures. You can see them here at the bottom, some of the pictures that I used. And then it mathematically puts together the image, not unlike a panorama or a 360 photo that you can do with your phones. In fact, phones have applications now that can do 3D scans similar to this. But the problem with the phones is that you have to pay. You have to send the photos to a site and have them reconstructed, and they might charge you for it, or they have limitations of only so many photos. And when you have a limitation on a number of photos, then the resolution is not as good. I mean, here I can actually see the eyebrows and even the eyelashes. That's how good a resolution this got. And so with a really good 3D printer, I would be able to reprint once I perfect it, I'd be able to 3D print this 3D scan of Evian, and even get the eyelashes with the new 3D printers. They're very high resolution. The jewelry, of course, comes out pretty good. So it's very good for displaying jewelry, like for a boutique store or clothing store or jewelry store. And the site could have the model wearing all the jewelry, and then clients online could zoom around and rotate the object in 3D and see how it would look from all angles. So my goal now is to improve this image, to scan, to avoid this modeling effect by improving the lighting. Evian Leigh did a great job of holding still for about close to a minute that it took to do the scan, to take those 350 or 390 pictures. Or actually it says 347 that it actually used. But if you had to do manually, take 347 pictures manually, it's going to take you some time. And each picture has to be focused and good lighting and everything else. So my robot takes care of all those details and does it systematically so that the model or the person being 3D scanned, can just hold a pose for, say, about a minute or even a little bit less. Not unlike Civil War photos where the clients had to hold still for about a minute to expose a picture on film. So some other improvements that I'm going to use is to try a different lens. The lens that I used only captured parts of her, as you can see down below, and then it had to stitch them all together. With a wider angle lens, I'm hoping that I can get better lighting, more consistent texture on her skin, and avoid this modeling effect from the different lighting. And also improve the reconstruction so that then I can do the entire image all around her. But I've improved the lighting on my 3D scanner rig because you need a lot of light to capture something like this. So anyways, that's my goal, to improve the scan by improving the lighting and using a better camera. Evian Leigh did a fantastic job for the posing because she held still for the time that's needed. If you don't hold still, you won't get a good reconstruction at all. You'd get this all in pieces. The front would look all messed up. So I got a single surface, and there are tools that allow you to, in Blender, to sculpture and patch things up. Even Zephyr 3D allows you to do some tools and some filtering. I haven't tried that yet, but that's the next step, to try to run some of the filters and see if that improves the image more. So that I'll show a video of that next time when I get an improved image. And then hopefully the ultimate goal is that I can 3D print this so that I can create sculptures. I can do trophies, like for high school basketball, or you know all the different games, where the star, or that earned the best player gets a trophy with their face on it. It could also be used in Hollywood for the awards, the Emmy Awards, etc. So there you have it. Until next time, thank you.